Welcome to another brief video for our favorite queue time simulator game. This time talking about crafter jobs leveling from levels 80 to 90. While not being an outright leveling guide, I want to share with you how I'm going to do this and my schemes to level up my Disciple of the Hand jobs efficiently. Which basically means I'm not going to brute force my way to 90 with any job in particular, but getting all up in a reasonable manner while saving Gil and leaf allowances. And the main reason not to overestimate a quickly leveled up crafter now is simply the fact that right now endgame materials are super expensive, if available at all, because nobody is having time or progress to farm anything. And this will easily persist for the next couple of weeks. Above that, endgame fighter gear you can craft right now is much weaker than the job quest gear and those items received from Alagan Tomestones of Aphorism. That means apart from the recent best crafter and gatherer gear and maybe some glamour stuff, there really isn't that much profit to be gained out of crafting right now, at least when you don't want to burn a whole bunch of gil just for the materials alone. So let us get there with keen planning and mindful expenditure on both aspects, gil and leaf allowances, while still getting a solid progress to be ready when material prices have reached a payable state. And you might have guessed it already, we're taking down the path of dirty Levequests again, so unlocking Endwalker's capital city is kinda mandatory and my absolute recommendation. And while you can achieve solid progress and mindful use of Levequests on a single job, due to recent fluctuations of prices, it is not bad to level multiple jobs at the same time. Okay, starting at the Levequest NPCs in S-City, my personal recommendation is to use whatever Levequests that simply demand you to trade in 3 pieces of base materials. There might be some jobs where those quests don't exist, like for the blacksmith or culinarian for example, but most jobs, especially weaver, leatherworker and goldsmith, that are my best bets to grant you an overall good progress, do offer these quests. So for example, the weaver, which might be my best bet to get started, due to the various possibilities of gear you can craft with it, and because on my server, dark hempen cloth is the cheapest you can find among all the materials required. However, I got started by simply accepting all quests demanding 3 pieces of an item, which always is base ingredients, and which means these are gathered currency transformed into the next stage of the items, which serve as a catalyst for nearly all recipes on that exact level range. So with my usual expectations and experiences, these are much cheaper than spending time on an actual craft. Especially when looking at high quality gear that is demanded on the other quests, where to get done a solid progress you would have to form crafting rotations, maybe update your crafter gear or even spend much more gil to get all the required ingredients that will naturally include those of the other quests. And if you look at the experience points rewards in comparison, these quests are nearly identical. For blacksmith, I guess you have to bite the bullet or simply wait some weeks for material prices to stabilize. Just make sure that you get started at least and to not overcap too much on leaf allowances. Or even better, you can go for the other crafting jobs in the meantime, because you can easily level them from level 1 to level 80 without much effort and without spending a single leaf allowance at all, with the help of Ishgard Restoration. That mentioned, if macros from my Ishgard Restoration leveling guide are not working, please give me some time, I will try to update these accordingly. However, when you accepted all the Levequests with 3 pieces of item in demand for each job you want to level, now head over to the market board to check prices for each type of item. To my fortune, not only that I made it onto the server and bet Lock and Q Savage, weaver materials were the cheapest around, and just this night I could find high quality pieces for very cheap. Especially if you consider that the quest itself always gives you back some gil, and in some weeks it might return to the state of granting back more gil than you would have to spend. Also remember that high quality items will grant you the double amount of gil and EXP, so they heavily increase the value of each leaf allowance spent. And I ultimately recommend to stick with these if you want to level up multiple crafter jobs in the first weeks. Otherwise you're wasting leaf allowances, so only consider doing normal quality items if you just have one crafting job to level. Which prices you're going to accept here depends on your own measurement, but something around 2k per HQ item is definitely a solid price, because each quest would cost you around 6,000 gil, but would give you back 5,000 plus potential ingredients or crystals, so spending 1,000 gil for 1.5 million EXP is not a bad exchange. If you can afford more, even 5,000 per piece is not too bad, in my opinion, because we're still talking about the first weeks of the expansion, so overpriced stuff is natural. Of course, you could spend some extra time to buy out the base gatherer materials and transform them into the quest items yourself, but most of the times the prices will be identical and the time investment might be overkill. Above that, switching servers right now to find better prices on other realms, I would not recommend this. Not only that queue times for transferring are close to 30 minutes, But the overall server instability might be a risk too vast to bear, because disconnects are the worst enemy right now. So definitely avoid this for the first weeks, but if you watch this video later on, this might be no problem at all. However, when reaching higher levels with one or more jobs, you will unlock new quests that also require simple base materials, but from another level range, Snow Linen on the Weaver for example. Yes, these might grant a better EXP reward and cut your costs on leaf allowances, but chances are high that prices for these are much higher than your starter level 80 quest and material. So as long as you're using high quality stuff, your leveling progress should remain consistent. For example, I already managed to get to level 87 on my Weaver just by checking market board prices from time to time and using the standard level 80 Levequest, which is perfectly fine until level 90 as well. The overall weight just costed me around 50 leaf allowances in total, so as long as I'm not overrushing things, especially when I haven't spent more than 2k per HQ item, this leveling method is insanely efficient and doesn't cost you anything more than to check the market board frequently and exchange whatever you could find for solid prices. Of course, there will be other methods and ways, and you could possibly gear up on higher levels to craft higher level Levequest items, but during these difficult times with the vile dominion of Era 2002, it is even more important to make use of the time that is given to us, right? So don't let yourself be fooled with overpriced stuff and buy ingredients reasonably. There's really no great cause and need to level up crafters right now, except you're a person that wants to start on a certain niche as the first individual on your server, which actually requires so much market board knowledge and spirit for bold investments that this guide will be pointless for you anyways. But for all the other lazy and lucky crafters that made it to the servers like me, take it with keen patience, and as long as you have leveled up your crafters upon the release of the new Ishgardian-like gear, all is fine and good. And you can still be part of the big dig business everybody's talking about. Or was it big Gil business? I'm not sure about that. Nonetheless, for now, thank you for watching and stay tuned for more crafter videos coming in the next couple of days, as well as basically all Endwalker stuff that will replace my Shadowbringers videos. Until then, stay safe, stay patient, and may the login servers not fail on you.